So in order to perform an amputation, for instance of a soldier who has been struck in a limb by a musket ball, this will shatter the bone beyond any duration. In order to be able to perform the amputation, one of course must first cut off the blood supply to the limb. We do this by using this instrument, which is known as a screw tourniquet. Itself is a relatively recent invention. It was invented back at the beginning of the 18th century by a French military surgeon, by a gentleman by the name of Jean-Louis Petit. The strap fits around the limb. It's tightened by tightening onto a buckle, and then by turning the screw, this tightens the tourniquet, effectively cutting off the blood supply to the limb. Once the blood supply is cut off, the surgeon can then take the capital knife, also of course known as the amputation knife, for that is its purpose. It's a curved blade, and the sharpened edge of the blade is on the inner edge of the curve. Thus, the knife can be drawn around the limb easily from either direction, and the knife needs to be kept sharp enough that it will cut down to the bone with one easy cut. Obviously what we want to avoid is messy sawing around through flesh. Once, by using the knife cut down to the bone, the surgeon's assistant would then take a strip of leather with a slit cut in it. This is called a bone strap. The assistant must first get his hand into the wound and pull the flesh away from the bone, and having done that, he can take the bone strap, actually strap it around the bone, passing the end through the slit in the leather, and taking a good grip, pull downwards, but clearing the flesh away from the bone. If there is any tendon still attached to the bones once they are in sight, then the surgeon can take a straight bladed knife, known at the time as a catlin, and cut tendon away from bone. Once the bone is completely clear, the surgeon of course takes a saw or amputation saw, narrow bladed saw kept very sharp, which can cut through the bone remarkably easily. Having removed the limb from our unfortunate patient, of course if we slackened the tourniquet off at this point, what would happen? The patient's death, literally in a matter of a minute or so through major artery. It's thus, before we take off the tourniquet, it's thus necessary to actually ensure that our patient won't bleed to death. And we do this by using this tool, which is called a tenaculum. It's a wooden handle with a metal barb which has been curved into a sharpened hook. Now the surgeon will take this tool and hook into the end of each blood vessel in turn and pull. Now blood vessels are slightly elastic, you can get about an inch of stretch on each blood vessel. So as the surgeon pulls each blood vessel in turn, his assistant can then take a pre-waxed linen thread, tie it around the protruding vein or artery, and tying a knot in it, ensure that the vein or artery is closed. Once the surgeon is satisfied that we have closed all the blood vessels in the stump, then we can try slackening the tourniquet. Now the great advantage of the screw tourniquet over earlier types is that of course you can slacken the pressure off a bit, see if any blood vessels are still emitting blood, and return to those to ensure that they're properly closed off. Only when the surgeon is completely satisfied that all the blood vessels have been effectively closed, then the tourniquet can be totally slackened off, and assuming that there is no more emittance of blood, the stump can have a dressing placed over it and tied in place, and our patient can be carried away to recover, or quite probably not.